láyé olúgbọ́n mo ké borùn méje ẹ ò máa kọ yí lórin láyé àrẹ̀sà mo ké borùn mẹ́fà ẹ ò máa kọ yí lórin láyé ìsẹ̀yìn èmi ra kókò mo ra rán mo ra sányán bàbá sọ àfọ̀lẹ́ ló lè pélé.
Hello everyone, my name is Adeyemo Adegbemiga Ganiu and I welcome you all to my new Yoruba Abrahamic YouTube video. Today I want to touch on how the Abrahamic book depicted Orunmila as Abraham in their own writings and some of the things, but it will be in brief because the extensive part of it have been reserved in my unpublished books so that you will see more details and verifiable facts from location to location, which you can do at your own very free period. We need to first understand that there is a reason why the ancient world doesn't really speak or talks about the very religion which Abraham did practice in his lifetime. We know for sure Abraham was never a religionist, and yet he was known as the father of the faith. And we know that Abraham was evidently the one they depicted as Orunmila. Orunmila was actually the person they depicted as Abraham among the Yoruba story, and who set up the spiritual foundation which all the Orishas, which you people of the world portray as prophet, that they also all followed throughout, before and after he was long gone from this earth. From the general outlook, Orunmila was the founding father of Ifá spiritual doctrine, which all the Yoruba people sees or held as a pillar of faith, and now follow to with art, to likewise the rest of the Orisha as Babalawo practitioner list till today. And realistically, likewise, why all Abrahamic religion is also admitted that the Abraham was also a spiritual leader or the founding father of what we know as the both Abrahamic faith, which all the prophets equally follow straight down from his lifetime to the last one, who is Prophet Muhammad in his own doctrine. From the Quran, we have the reference to the Abraham's legacy, which was Arabically known as the Mekama Ibrahim, I think in Surah Al-Baqarah, which was well described as a footpath, but also in an idiomatic expression to describe his legacy which he laid before he departed this earth. But you know, the foreigners basically don't have idea of most of what they are writing for us as religion. So as it was thus as the legacy, they went to go and build a gold footpath, trying to coin it around Abraham. We know they don't know what they are doing, honestly. In a nutshell, Abraham was globally identified as the father of faith, which among the Christian Yorubas they dub him as Baba Igbagbo. And this very notion was actually a stolen concept from Orunmila's title, when he is being dubbed as the Grand Priest of Ifá Originator, the father of spirituality, the founder of traditional legacies which the rest humanity now capitalizes on, or directly or indirectly, like the technology, philosophy, spirituality, and so everything was actually taken from Orunmila. If you really want to know everything about how Orunmila was westernly depicted as Abraham in breakdown, how he did journey from Sudan, Ile-Ife, which is anciently known as Wadai, or from the Wadai, and to West Africa, which is Ile-Ife or Tufe, from the one in southwest of Nigeria, how his two sons that the Bible popularizes very much, who are commonly known as the Ishmael and Isaac, but they are mere two Yoruba kings or Yoruba people we know of today in southwest of Nigeria. How his wife, or likewise how he lived in southwest, from southwest Ondo to Osun and so many places within Osun, to where his wife, that Sarah, actually was buried at Kiheri, which is at Okeheri in today Osun state. You will have to wait for my book because I detail it all in my books. For real, I may not be 100% right, but believe me, I will be 95% accurate, trust me, because you basically have no idea I'm getting my information and using wisdom to shape it so that both Yoruba Christian, Yoruba Muslim, and Yoruba traditionalists would at least have a common ground rather than fighting themselves and rather ask questions. You understand? Therefore, Abraham or Orunmila story is very deep, and so many things did happen between him and his people. And being the father of spiritualism or even defines true path from the Yoruba people's tribe, if you really ask a typical Abrahamic religionist today of what the very name of the religion Abraham practiced, being the first man who started the Abrahamic legacy, like if you ask them, like, was Abraham a Muslim or a Christian? Was he even a Jew or an Israelite? Does he even pray 5 times daily or go to church? What were his practices that even earned him the title of father of faith? Trust me, none of them will have answer to this. Honestly, none of them will have answer to this. Most of them would rather start picking out something that are not even related to the both Abrahamic books, start giving you random answers that doesn't really align with what Abraham is. In some cases, they will tell you don't even ask, and there are reasons for it. Honestly, African might actually not know the reason, because we are just naturally copy and paste followers in religions who are so obsessed with whatever our enslavers gave us as truth or something to hold on to. But for these foreigners or enslavers who actually stole all these African tales or African writings, believe me, they know for sure that Abraham is actually Orunmila under a new depicted name and a spiritual tradition that was coined as religion. But we know that what Abraham had was Ifá Eledumare of the ancient Yoruba practices since thousands of years, and which is existed to today. As a matter of fact, Abraham or Orunmila was a typical Babalawo Adifala, if you must know, the founding father of what we know today as Ifá Oracle, which evidently, logically, and undoubtedly led to why every single Orisha like him before him or after him were all, which the word also portrayed today as prophet in both as in same Abrahamic book, all of them also follows the footpath of this Abraham, which is Orunmila, till today, and all they ever practiced or knew were Ifa Isheshe tradition from the Yoruba people, because they were all Yoruba people and they were ancestors of each one another. Like the Quran in Imran said, all of them, it is only possible for them to be of one tribe. It is only possible for them to pass down their Ifa tradition because they are ancestors of one and another, and they pass down those legacy. So the legacy of Ifa tradition, everything evolves within that tribe because they were people from just one tribe. And furthermore, this also justifies why the entire Torah from A to Z also made it known officially that 98% of all the prophets, which are actually Yoruba Orishas in Yoruba land, were all into Ifa tradition. They are all Ifa Oracle tradition. Like it is said in 1 Peter 4 verse 11, where he said, speak like it is, speak as the oracle of the Almighty has told you to. Because they believe that oracle is Ifa Eledumare, and Eledumare is actually the one that drew speaks from the Ifa. Where did all this concept come from? It came from the first man, the founding father, who brought out which the Abraham people dubbed as the founding father of the faith, which even gave the first oracle, which is Orunmila, and that legacy now became a widespread across Yoruba land. Amos was an Ifa practitioner, which is Babalawo Adifala. Moses was into Ifa practicing, and which is also the idea of seeking for Ifa guidance throughout his life from Eledumare. Moses was given tablets, 2 tablets. One, Odu-Ifa guide, which contained the written laws, the word of the Almighty, and the other one, Okmofa, which also is a tablet interface which he uses to display his binary communicating skills with the heaven, and which the both tablets were referenced to as Torah Shabbat, the 2 tablets of the Almighty. If we even look closely throughout the Torah, this same Abraham or Orunmila spiritual legacy of Ifá Ìṣẹ̀ṣe led to why so many Yoruba cities like Ile-Ife, Jerusalem, and many other towns in ancient Torah had Odu Ifá and Oponfa in their temples. Nínú ìgbàlẹ̀ wọn, because they had it there, because they were all Yoruba people. They were the founder of Ifá Oracle. Unless you are living under rock not to know that Ifá Oracle originated with the Yoruba people from Ile-Ife, and the founding father is the same person you reference to, Abraham, which is Orunmila in Yoruba land, that started the whole Ifá tradition. So all these tradition too, they were all what came together as the legacy of the Yoruba people, which Orunmila started and became part of the Yoruba lifestyle till today. There even throughout the Bible, there is what they call Omuri and some other, where is an alternative spiritual chain used for Opele Ifa, where you can seek answer. Is still part of Orunmila tradition, which is Abraham. It was used all throughout the Bible, because these are all Yoruba people from different ethnic side within Yoruba land, within the southwest, and some of the south middle belt. Those people who are related to the Yoruba from the Kogi, all these things, they are all Yoruba people, directly or indirectly. So these are the people that founded the Ifa through Orunmila. Therefore, all of these traditional acts are ancient and present spiritualities of the same Yoruba people, which was started by Orunmila, the very man which Abrahamic messages depictedly centered around until today. As a matter of fact, the collective tradition was exactly what Yeshua, the same man known as Eshu or Lailu, was basically identifying with when he said in Matthew 5-17, he said, "So many of my people mistake me as a Messiah who came to bring another religion or spiritualism to them." And he said, "No, I didn't bring any of such. I only came to fulfill the one that has been in existence before me. I have not come with anything new, but rather to come to earth and continue to promote the tradition of Omishore, the man that was given Okmofa and Odrifa at the period of Ishina Iye, where the Dobas mountain Sinai. There is no mountain, it's Mount Sinai. Go and check it. Mount Sinai is not a mountain. Igba Ishina Iye, at the spiritual time where he was, is like when he was divine, at the moment where the spirit of heaven was working in him. Ìgbà tí ọ̀nà ṣí fún tó yẹ pé ó wà nú ẹ̀mí, when he was in the spirit, Ishina Iye. It does not mean he climbed anything. That is another story for another thing, because you need to keep checking the very Hebrew word they use or the Arabic word. It will give you a clear idea of what really happened. Most translations you see in both the Quran are what the foreigners were able to interpret. The Yoruba has deeper meaning to a single word. Like you have one like Oyo. The foreigner always speak just one, but Yoruba always have extra several meanings to just a single word. So we are bound to have more understanding to this word than the common word that you use for the interpretation. So Yeshua said it that not here, and he said, Ifá Oracle tradition rituals of the prophet, like that of the Omishore Moses, who is commonly Orisha in Yoruba land, and the slaughtering of sacrifices to honor deity, the praising of Almighty, just like the same Moses also did in Exodus 12:3-17, when Moses was telling the Oya Sherela, the Yoruba, to pick out an aguton, which is a lamb, at a full moon, Oshupakan, and slaughter it, and sprinkle the blood within the two stone posts. Ojubo, where they honor deities. Ojubo, 2 stone posts. So, and from individuals' lineage, ìdílé kankan. Come on. this is a typical Isheshe practitioners of the Yoruba people, which Moses was practicing in his lifetime. So, in other words, these are all the practices which Yeshua was actually referring to. All these things collectively, they are not to be whitified. They are not to be altered. Is a tradition to be adhered to for eternity among the believing people, Yoruba people, till heaven and earth passes away. So these are traditions they were promoting. They knew nothing about the religion we are practicing today. And let's not forget, in Matthew 15:24, 19:28 as well, and so many others, Yeshua initially said, all this tradition which I am promoting, just like my ancestors, like people before me and people that will come after me, they belongs to the people of the book alone. The Almighty sent me alone to the misguided Oya Sheriola people who don't fancy tradition, who begin to see tradition as a thing of pagan. He sent me to come and set their brain right. He never said it is a thing of the world. So these are the tradition Yeshua was referencing to. I hope you get it. So it has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with system, the way we have it today. It has nothing to do. This is why no one can be able to tell us that Moses called himself a Christian or a Muslim. Abraham called himself a Christian or a Muslim. Jesus called it. It is only later in recent time, less than 300 years, that we begin to identify ourselves with one political religion institutions or the other. So, as usually, the Muslim may say Muhammad was never into Isheshe tradition and never did practices Isheshe or give any right, or you know how Muslim we say. They will always argue that Muhammad didn't say it and there's none of that in their whole book. I just want to tell you that if you are actually close to any Muslim that is saying this, that Muhammad was never into tradition or Isheshe, you should just show him 2 verses of his own Quran. Number 1 in Surah Al-Anam, 6 verse 161 to 163 in Surah Al-Anam, where the Almighty was basically telling Muhammad, I want you, Mr. Man, to declare yourself that whatever you are doing today, your legacy, he said, say, my guardian is the right divine path, is the right path, and they are the footprints, what my ancestors do. So Yeshua said he's not bringing anything new except what has been pre-existing among the Yoruba people. Muhammad is saying the same thing, that he is also following what has been in existence among the Yoruba Isheshe traditionalists, which is Ifá Oracle, that all the prophets in the Torah practice. So what do you actually think Muhammad? So you actually think Muhammad didn't practice Ifá when all the prophets or the Orisha in Torah were into Ifá Oracle, directly or indirectly? So you actually think Muhammad practiced religion? It's not adding up, I'm telling you. So the other verses of the Quran can still be referred to in that same Surah Al-Anam 163, where the Almighty first tell Muhammad, oh yeah, Muhammad, say it, that surely my prayer in Arabic is dua, not salat. This is why I said most Arabic has even been interchanged out of ignorance. Salat means iwa rere, righteous act. Dua means prayer. They are not the same thing. Don't let anybody fool you. Go and check it. You have your phone with you. They are not the same thing. The Almighty was not telling Muhammad, say that your dua, your prayer, and your sacrifice, and also your right, etutu shishe, and the day you will die, all of these things belongs to me, the Almighty. Emi Ọlọ́run Eledumare, I, the Almighty, I collect sacrifice. It should take sacrifice from earth to heaven. I am the one who collects it. I'm the one who has authority to tell you your supplication should be answered or not to answer. And he say your prayers, I listen to it. This is coming from the same Quran. So Muhammad didn't do anything. This is why the Quran even say it clearly in Surah Imran. All the prophets, they are one single people from a single lineage. As a single people from a single lineage, a single tribe, they practice the same thing, they believe in the same thing, they are into the same practice, the same tradition and norms, and they don't do anything, and they are openly saying it. Only for the modern day invaders to be telling you that one didn't do one did something different, one is sent to the world, while the rest is sent to. If despite the fact that both people are telling you that they are not sent to anyone, their legacy or their mission is within the legacy of their ancestors. They didn't take anything out of it. So therefore, those who haven't been watching my video, especially concerning the establishments of the entire modern day Muslim Islamic system and it was set up, they need to realize, like in recap, Abrahamic books are African history and precisely the Yoruba people of the major two sides within both West and Central Sudan, West Africa and North Sudan, Africa. And every religion system around those books are foreign invaders of separated political teachings, which they coined around both guys, and which basically led to why all modern Islamic practices of today are Persian invaders' tradition, being the very people who actually invaded North Africa last as Pildara, and why all the modern day Islamic doctrine can be referring to the un-Quranic parts of the Babylonian Talmud practices. In the traditional Christian aspect too, Christian practices of today are Roman invaders' tradition from Rome, being the very same people who also invaded North Africa at some time too, while everything they do also in reference to what they initially practiced as idol practices in Rome, like the sun worshipping day, which they converted to Christian worshipping day. The Christmas celebration is in reference to another pagan celebration known as Mitra, and so many other things. So all of these things have no connection with both books, because both books are actually an African tales. I hope to get it. And for Muslim who still isn't confused or they can pick up the Quran. The entire Quran only recognizes the word Qiblah or Kablun and not Kahaba. This is an assignment for the Muslim, and that very same Quranic explicitly describes what it meant as Qiblah. The Qiblah, according to the Quran itself, because the Quran is self-explanatory, it said Qiblah means your personal location where you are or where you choose to reside. It does not mean a sort of far direction towards a black Persian cube in Saudi Arabia where you reference to. And he also gave further examples, like in Baqarah 2 verse 142. He said, he was talking, the Almighty was talking to Muhammad. He said, the foolish one among you will ask you, Muhammad, that why did you change your Qiblah? Or should I say, why did you, Muhammad, change your preferred location when you were supposed to be like Muhammad was in one location, then decided to change his location? The Almighty was now telling Muhammad that tell them that the Almighty is in the west, in the east, wherever you face. I'm all over the earth. So the Almighty isn't telling anybody to start focusing on black cube, to start referencing to any black house, identifying with him or something. He said anywhere in the entire world, I am in your mind. If you think, this is why the Yoruba traditionally they are so intelligent. They practically don't identify Eledumare with anything. When you talk about Eledumare, they believe is in their heart, and that is exactly what Almighty require from us. He doesn't want to, because he is too big than how we portray him. It is only we human beings that will use our own hand to go and build a house and label the house of Almighty. We will construct a cross. We will call it the cross of the Almighty. We do all manners of things just to degrade the heightness of the Almighty. So again, in Quran Baqarah in 149, the father said that wherever you find yourself, make yourself in Arabic Shatra. like Masjid Haram. Shatra means taking, people of Arabic people can go and verify it. Shatra means to copy something from a pre-existing thing. Make yourself like something similar to what you see over there. That is the exact word of Shatra. Go and look for the Arabic word. So the Almighty is basically telling the Muhammad, make yourself, wherever you find yourself, try to replicate something that can be referenced to Masjid Haram. Shatra, the Masjid Haram. The word Masjid Haram means a preserved place. You are the one who preserved it, and also prohibited rules you apply to it. It does not really identify with mosque. It could also be a political meeting ground. It could be an office. It's a place you created and place different rules that suits you. I might create a special place in my house where I want to choose as a praying ground, and I will tell my children, don't eat biscuit here. That is my own prohibition, haram, that I'm tagging to the place. In an office, I can play in the office environment, and I will tell anybody, stop making noise, stop eating in the office. That is my rule. So the Almighty is basically telling Muhammad, wherever you find yourself, ibikíbi tí o bá ti bá rẹ, sọ́bẹ̀ di ilẹ̀ mímọ́ tí wọ́n tó tẹ́ ẹ lọ́rùn. Whatever pleases you, put your rules over there. The Almighty was never saying we should be facing any black cube in Saudi Arabia. So I don't want to go into the Arabic part too much because I dedicated a single book for it. So people can go and make endless researches about it. Then you will thank the heaven for at least opening your eye to some of the things you don't pay attention. So in other words, the Hadith, the Sunnah, the Sharia, the 5 pillars of Islam, the bead, the chubby preservation, the jumping skinny clothes, the bleak, and so many other are Persian cultures. They are un-Quranic, they are Talmud culture. They have nothing to do with the Holy Quran or something, or the Torah. And in a nutshell, tradition has always been the ways of Abrahamic prophet. Every single attribute of modern day religions or foreign establishment that was recently introduced to the Africans, after the African eventually lost the touch in their ancestral spirituality of divinity of heaven. Therefore, the Yoruba sons and daughters, or ethnic related ones, whether they recategorize themselves as Jewish movement, Jewish group, Israelite group, Messianic group, or anything different to what we know as Christian and Muslim, you are still in the lost system until you eventually go into Isheshe, because that Isheshe tradition is actually what your Quran and Bible is referring to. We're actually telling you that your forefathers did, not everything you still do around the Western system. I hope you get it. So I will see you in my next video. Let me press the like button, share it. I'm not really good in talking, but I'm really trying my best. But I'm very good with writings. Though once my book is out, you will see there are so many things I'm trying to check on, try to test myself at the bigger stage, at least to minimize the errors in both writings, because I know the errors is inevitable, but at least it can be minimized to the barest minimum to understand. So I'll see you in my next video, everyone. So everyone, thank you. Bye for now.